Welcome to Millennial Intent Conversations That Matter. I'm your host, Jay Cherish. And now let's give it up for my co-host and the co-founder of Millennial Intent, Dame Deity. It sounds like I be saying deity. I'm sorry.
Don't put me on that, man.
Hey girl,
Hey.
how are you?
Hello, hello.
Hello. So everybody know this is election season, so I'm just gonna get right into it. We're going to be talking
Election season's over now. This is
election.
it.
I know this is the election aftermath.
Yes, yes.
I mean, America is currently in an uproar over the newly elected president, Donald Trump, who won the presidential election.
T
The,
Daddy is back.
the
T
internet
Daddy
is
is
going
back.
crazy over T Daddy. Disclaimer, I'm a liberal.
Disclaimer, I like anybody who starts crap. So whatever.
All right. So it's like, why are the people so surprised about this outcome? What do you think?
Bro, I am shocked.
Yeah.
I am absolutely shocked that this happened. I'm blown out the water.
Are you shocked that he won? I'm not shocked that he won. That's
I
why.
am. I
What do you
am.
mean?
Because I'm shocked because I like I don't know what he's gonna do. I'm not even gonna try to like pretend that I know Donald Trump. Donald Trump is like a wild card.
He is. He
It is
really
what it
is.
is. But I
This,
just feel like Kamala did all, is that how you say her name? I'm gonna say Miss Harris.
it's.
Miss Harris did all the things. She even brought Beyonce out there.
I know, and I thought once Beyonce got up there, it was a dead deal. I really thought because she vice president.
Disclaimer, I'm not a beehive. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying she was everywhere, and I'm really not shocked because I don't look at.
Wasn't Oprah out there?
Yeah, Oprah was one of her big surround. Obama, President Obama, his wife Michelle Obama, everybody, every TikTok star, every hip hop bop bop, everybody
But you
was.
know what this but you know what this means? This means that all of y'all were lying.
Yeah, that's what they said. Fine. And I saw a meme about that. It was like all you dudes that was lying that said y'all would vote for Harris and like they had this little side eye thing and you really didn't. But I wasn't looking at that. I was listening to what the people were saying. And I was as I'm driving through neighborhoods and driving, all I saw was Trump signs. And all of I saw was people didn't want to
Or you
admit
live in the
it.
South, you know what nothing but Trump signs.
Yeah, but people didn't.
You in a red, you're in a what? No, you're in a blue state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did, but I still did not think that people were going to be this surprised because if you really listen to the people, besides all the what they forced, I feel like the Democratic Party really saturated the media and they felt that they had their little agenda and they thought that this is what the people wanted to hear, but this is not. And they over put the reproductive system in the media so much I felt like they jammed it down people's throats and that's not what people wanted to hear. And I listen to what the people are really saying. I go into the comments, I really look deep and see what do the people
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean?
meaning and what do they want, what do the people want.
Like you were saying that they were jamming their you talking about like the
But
abortion
I
debate?
feel like, yeah, I feel like the reproduction rights and what they felt like about the what the economy needs, they didn't really go into that. I feel like they made abortion and Roe versus Wade their main topic and blacks not coming out to vote and minorities, but they didn't really get into what people are saying is they can't feed their families.
Yeah.
And Trump was going into what they, and I don't really want to get into, oh, that was another thing. If you're black and you're supporting Trump, that's another issue. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. But obviously, he appealed to those people no matter what rhetoric he said and what racist quote comments he said, because I don't know. I just know that the ignorance that they said was coming out of his mouth and they still voted for him is
Who said he was saying ignorance?
that's what the people are saying, the internet
Oh.
and the media.
But he didn't just win by like a few votes.
No,
He won by a
he
very high margin.
he surpassed her. And the thing about it, a lot of people
Didn't
were
he surpass like Biden and
not,
Obama his
but
last?
it was very close last time. It was very close. And a lot of the areas that he didn't get that last time, and especially when they did the population right, like say, and especially New York, with this lot of states that he didn't have the
Mm.
last election, he gained. And
That's
you see, it's
crazy.
crazy. And then the majority of a lot of women, even black women, and but majority white women did not resonate with Kamala. Sorry, it's Kamala. It didn't resonate with them. And a lot of people were saying, "Oh, because she's black." I don't really think it's because she's black, because
She's black?
she's a woman of color.
Oh,
I
yeah, she
think it
has a
was
color.
I think it was because she was a woman. And outside, and a lot of that they're saying that, because there's misogynist and there's fascist, and that was the
You
case. Men didn't want to
listen,
vote for her because she was a woman.
I'm
And
gonna say my 2 cents real quick because you hit it dead on. I am 99% that the reason that woman lost is simply because I bet you out of nowhere all the black men went to vote. Because if there's one thing that black men hate more than anything on the planet, it's anything that resembles a black woman. There
yeah,
was no way that they were good. I bet you if they look, all the black people that never voted before was like, nope, nope, nope. And you know what? It didn't occur to me. They really thought she had it in the bag.
yeah. I think she thought she did too.
And I thought she did. Like I honestly thought she did. I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I bet you the people that they think came out of nowhere were black voters. And I remember seeing a thing on TikTok where they were talking about like 78 million boomers and like 75 million millennials, I think. And then they were like, yeah, all the Gen Zs, 41 million that are going to help them turn the tide. Nope. Nope. They voted for him too.
Yeah. And I would not it what I can't remember the guy that made that comment about the Puerto Ricans the other day, and a lot of Puerto Rican, but still a lot of Latin people and Hispanics still voted for Trump. And it said that in there, it's like 54 to 44% over Harris.
That's
Over
a
over
lot of people.
Yeah. And I saw this from other minorities. They were getting on there and they were like, well, she's already been in office. She's under the Biden administration. What can you do no different than what you've already done? And I think that the Democratic Party should have played into that, meaning like you're already in here. Exactly. What are you giving the people? Gas is high, food is high. People are not, we didn't have jobs.
It's
I
at
mean,
its highest point.
we had more jobs. I know that they're saying that Trump didn't have anything to do with it because of the who, you have to go to look at. People don't understand how the Congress is built. You got to know how does he, but he has a Senate and how it goes, whatever. But let's just be real that when we were in COVID, everybody had, because we had remote jobs.
Yeah.
And even if you didn't have work, the mortgage industry was booming.
How you
And
broke it buying houses?
but I mean,
Go ahead though.
because they still had jobs, but I mean, there were still people sick. You have healthcare providers, you have tech, you have all
Yeah.
those people that are in good in finance, tech, insurance. All that part was
Yeah.
booming
Yeah.
because everybody was at home. The even entertainment, because people were sitting at home just watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Netflix was making billions, so I don't see how they were cutting anything. But anyways, people were making some kind of money, and then we come out of this slowly coming out of this COVID phase, and we're going into the new normal, and now it's inflation. Like, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people like, oh, when you're voting Democrat, you're voting for the people. But my thing is, if the people can't survive, then they're saying, "Oh, bump the other thing." I'm whatever they say about abortion, whether you're going to get an abortion or not. I feel like that has nothing to do with or same sex marriage or anything of that has nothing to do with the economy. And I feel like they play these topics inside election to get us emotional about voting for
Yeah.
them. But people are starting to not feel emotion. They want to know real world
What are
resolution.
y'all gonna
How
do?
am I
Yeah.
going to feed my family? And what are you going to do about it? And I think they resonated with Trump a little bit more because he's like, you know what? I got a solution. Even though they're like the Democrats, well, what
Trump
solution?
is the biggest thug I know. Go, go,
But they're saying
go,
he's a
go.
liar.
He's a
They say
liar.
that he's in office because
They said
he's
that?
only, yeah, but they're saying that he's only in there for selfish game. He's the biggest liar there is. He's bigger
But
liar.
how, what is it gonna do for himself? Like, what does he get out of it?
I don't know. He's a billionaire. Maybe he's building his own empire. I don't know. This is what the people are saying.
What people? Who are these people?
This just the internet. The internet talks.
The internet is dumb.
The
The
internet
internet can't
talking.
read.
That's what they're saying. But and a lot of people are saying the policies that he's going to put in effect. And I want to talk about that in a second, but he's talking about what solutions he's going to have. But I think we're getting down. People are like, okay, what is the greater evil? He's a racist, he's a fascist, and you want this person with no moral character in office. But obviously, people don't care about that right now.
But I feel like those people have already been in office.
Yeah, they just hide behind their.
But what exactly is he racist about?
He's racist. I believe he doesn't like anybody, but apparently
That's my
he
belief.
doesn't like us Tories,
Well, I don't like me either when I'm poor.
red in heart. Okay. But no, but they're saying that he's only in there for selfish gain and he has no policies and procedures are his he's been saying the same thing. He's been in office and but he's putting people in place and that's the thing. Now he controls majority of the house and there's this big
Mm-hmm.
project 2025 and they're saying okay he's going to get rid of the Department of Education, he's going to do all these things and get rid of democracy.
May I ask what the point of because I haven't read on this particular thing, but excuse me, what would be the gain in getting rid of the Department of Education?
Well, it takes away from those departments the money wise. So he's going to leave it up to state. So those are jobs that are going to be getting rid of. So I don't think he thought that out through when you get rid of the Department of Education.
But is he saying that we have a Department of Education and it's
He's
not
saying
doing its job?
he's saying it's not doing his job and he wants to leave it up to the states.
So he has thought about it, but he's just saying it's time to start cutting the middleman out.
It's cutting the middleman. But my thing is the states that can't regulate accordingly, they need some kind of boundary.
Govern,
Yeah,
govern,
there's
yeah.
some states that you have like
So
remember
wouldn't they just answer directly to the governor?
no, he wants to cut that. Oh yeah, but what if your governor is conflicting? You know how it is.
I mean,
And
but they're conflicting now. So
exactly, but there's still you have state law, then you have federal law. So if they're not going together, you can always go to federal because it over we know it
I see
overseas.
what you're saying. Okay.
But
Okay.
I feel like the Department of Education, yes, because the kids are getting dumber and dumber. I understand that.
And we're
However,
not saying that kids are dumb. What we're saying is they're
no,
not
the
being taught
system.
properly.
Yeah, because the only thing the system
Yeah.
about is testing. That's a whole nother topic. We're not going to
That's a
get
whole
into
nother
a
topic.
whole nother topic.
Tune in, tune in.
Public education that are educating. Oh my goodness, they're not educating, and I get what he's saying. However, you got to think about it. When you cut that out, you're still cutting jobs. Like, what are they going to do? Like
I
these
mean,
people are government jobs. You when you get into the
but
government,
my thing is though, you're cutting jobs of people who are not doing anything.
yeah, but maybe what? Why is this? Why is this the case?
I feel like he's getting rid of those people. I don't know. I'm not listen,
I just
I'm not for one
don't
person or
see
the
it.
other because I am one of the people who believe that no matter who we put in office, there's still people that move those people, and there's only so much that the president can do. I feel like basically the president is like, you know,
Yeah,
King George. They can only do so much
yeah.
without having the say of everybody else. So more than not, they're more likely like a figurehead. You've got your left and your right telling you what to do all the time. You can't do what you really want to do.
Exactly.
So I'm
It's
not going to
not
say
like
he's not going to do this and she's not going to do that. I don't know because we're not going to know until they get in there what they're trying to do.
but
So what do
there's
they think he's like trying to become like a
they feel like
something?
we're
I
going
don't know.
to
Like,
right now, so I don't want to say the wrong thing.
wait,
However,
say that again.
I said we could be. I don't want to be censored. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I feel that the people, because there's pros and cons to everything, that they're scared. What the Democrats are scared that he's going to take over the system because
So
crime.
they're talking about he's so if he
They
takes
think
over
he's
the
going to,
system, he wants to be king. Is that what it is?
yeah, I guess, but my
Like a
thing,
constitutional monarchy type of
yeah,
thing?
yeah, and they think he's going to change it, but he's very uncommon than usual. And I know everybody's talking about this, but you have to look at his character. He hasn't been like any other president. He's doing it his way. And now that he has majority of the House and whatever he wants to implement, he can probably do that because Republican parties are going. And that's the thing about when people vote, they don't understand what they're voting for. Go educate yourself on how it votes, how the Senate works, how the government works, and he has majority of the House. He still can't just pass the bill. He still has to get it voted on. He can't just do everything he wants to. But there's certain things he can do part in, and he can do that most presidents haven't done. I mean, for one, they're saying he's a convicted felon, and most felons can't vote, and he's in office. It's so untraditional. He's
I'm
a
running the next 4 years. Vote me out. Vote me
I
out. I'm
mean,
kidding.
well,
I'm
he's
kidding.
a president that had no political background. He didn't even, most of them are in politics.
But I
Like,
think that's what they're saying is that they're tired of the people who are already in politics. They're politicking, but they're not getting anything done. People are
yeah.
just talking. So maybe as like an American person that's tired of seeing crap, he's gonna go in there and do what he say he's gonna do.
But
I'm
that's what,
crossing my fingers.
yeah, but a lot of Democrats are saying he's not going to do that because he's a
Well, the
liar.
last people didn't do it either, so we're screwed either way.
Exactly. But my thing is, I think that the Democrats rode so much. I think they kind of screwed up when they had brought Meg the Stallion out there and Gorilla and I love Meg and Glorilla.
Money, Annie, Annie, Annie,
No,
Annie,
but
Annie, Annie.
they attract young kids,
Vody, odi, 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 odi.
but they attract the young kids and they're having fun. But this is not a fun moment. This is serious.
Yeah, it is.
You know, this is serious, and I know there's a time and a place, but I don't think they realize that how serious the economy is gone down the drain. And yes, there a lot of people are saying, well, he's not going to fix it, but that's not what the people felt. And if you want to win the election, you need to understand, unless this already rigged. And I wanted to make a quote. I know that President Biden today, because a lot of people were saying that the election system was rigged.
By
And
who? By who?
that's what they're saying. They're saying it was rigged. And there was a statement that Biden said earlier that he trusted in of our election process, and it was very honest and trustworthy and basically ethical. Don't Not verbatim what he said, but Biden said it was honest, fair, transparent, and trustworthy. And people aren't thinking, they're saying that Trump kind of scared people. There was bomb threats. I know there was bomb threats in Georgia and Atlanta, and it shut down some of the polls for like 30 minutes to an hour, something like that. And that people were scared to go and vote because that there was another issue that I saw on social media today. This young lady was at a university and she said that her and her friends were getting these texts. I don't know how true this is, but she said that they're getting these texts. They're saying that people are going to find out that you voted for Kamala and they're going to come hunt you down. And there's these signs that said, oh, they're going to hurt people that vote for Kamala. And they're trying to think it's going to starting up race wars. But my thing is now we have to be smart about our choices. And a lot of people are saying, well, now we don't have reproductive rights, meaning like some of the abortion rights were not given to certain states, but it's per state. So it's up to your state and you have to vote on it per state. And they're talking about this and they're saying it's not a win. And they're saying it's because he's a misogynist and there's misogyny and that it's failed for women because nobody wants to believe in a woman president
I'm
because
also bothered by the fact that people goes, "Oh, my daughter." So why would you be thinking about your daughter at that particular time? The first thing that comes to my mind is my child is going to have an abortion. I'm so confused about where your mind goes.
yeah.
Like, why would that be the thing on your mind?
But a lot of people like, well, I don't want to have to carry a rapist baby,
Well,
or
why? I,
I don't
I'm just not. I
get
understand all of
violated.
that, but again, it's in the law that that's not that is applicable. Like, there's health care for that. It's literally in the law. So I'm not understanding why we're still like we need to be getting on board with doing the hospitals doing their due diligence because the hospitals are killing people. This has nothing to do with that law. Like, I'm not for or against it. I drink my water in my business. I just feel like people are. I saw plenty of posts who are saying it's a total ban, and it's not a total ban. So we just need to tell the truth. But my thing is, after the election, I saw a lot of stuff about Kamala come out
Hmm.
that I didn't even know. Especially when she's a judge, right?
She was a prosecutor. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know she was a prosecutor at one time. When she probably was a judge, but let me look it up. But I know she said she prosecuted like the cartel. I know she said I know she was a district attorney, and I think
Because they said that a lady ended up going to jail for putting her to jail for like truancy or something like that. I was literally just watching a lady tell the story. There was
mhm.
a lot of underhanded things they said, and then they literally had her on there saying that she never put anybody in jail. Like, I think Kamala literally tried to use the quote unquote black card, but she shunned and put down the black community. Now this is what the streets are talking.
Yeah,
And this is what when I read the forums, I feel like more black people were for Trump this time than anybody, especially than the last time he was being elected. I think more black people voted for Trump and they just didn't tell anybody that they were voting for Trump
yeah, because I
because
think
they
they were,
knew how people were gonna react to them.
yeah. And I saw a lot of them on social media saying if you voted for Trump, you're not black. And I think
I,
that a lot of people were scared.
oh.
Somebody was voting for him, obviously,
All of
because
y'all were lying. This election showed us that you're all liars and you're very good at
future liars, everybody's a liar.
it. You're
Really?
all liars. Like, y'all played it real good. Like, this was literally like that Saw movie. Y'all are Jigsaw, and y'all played this one all the way to the end. Like, because this is not what I first saw. Like, I always feel like dependent, it doesn't even matter who's gonna be elected. I feel like we always lose, we the people. But on this one, y'all, America, y'all got us, boy.
Yeah, she was a district attorney in California, a high-ranking public like district attorney in the bar. But my thing is they said that she was a liar, but see, she got caught in her lies a lot. And that was an issue because she wanted to be personable with the community. And there was one thing that she was on Charlemagne, what is it, The Breakfast Club? And she had said they asked her like, do you smoke weed or have she wants to be cool. They were like, yeah, she was like, yeah, I smoke weed in my and she wanted to be playful. Then they was like, what were you listening to? She was like Tupac. And everybody knows that her age for when she went to school and the age of Tupac, he would have been like 10 or 15 by the time she graduated. He wasn't even in the industry like that. So it's just little lies that she said that people were taking back by like, okay, like, who is this person? Is she just reading a script? And most presidents, that's what they do. I mean, they're just the face of the person. But I guess don't get caught.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they
Yeah.
nitpicked everything she said, but I think the bigger picture is about policy. I'm looking at the economy, and a lot of people they don't want to be your friend anymore. They don't care if you want to come to the cookout. They want to know what are you going to do when it comes to people and their money. That's the bigger issue. And I know they're saying that's selfish, but I mean, hey, you got to feed your family. You do. So I don't know. It's so much going on. I just don't see why people are so
I
surprised.
really think that I think she played on the American people's intelligence and
Yeah.
it backfired horribly. I
Hmm.
think she tried to use the Hispanics and they knew, the Latins, they knew they're just like, not quite. I feel
Yeah.
like they feel like they know what they get with Trump and it is what it is with Trump. But I felt like she tried to be so sneaky that it just didn't work. And they caught stuff that I didn't even catch. And I am almost certain that a lot of the black voters that people thought were going to vote for Kamala sat there and they played the play. They shot the shot, the little roo and went right to them polls and voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I find that the most but I think I find it hilarious. But what I find sad is that people have to hide who they want to vote for in fear of retaliation.
Yeah. But it's also vice versa. They're saying that, for one, a lot of people are like, well, what is she going to do? She's already been in office, but she is a VP. Like, what do you expect her to do as a VP? Um, she did, they said they commend her for doing what she did. But I think you got to think about people also thought you're in a Biden campaign and you're part of this and they're the problem. And even if they're saying, well, before, coming from the Obama organization going into Trump, you know, it was already fixed and then it kind of went. Trump inherited the economy at a good range because people don't know about the mortgage industry that had a lot of effect on, I mean, just the things that Barack Obama had to put in place, that people were stealing mortgage and it really had a big effect on the economy. And if you don't know, people go watch Big Fish. I mean, it's a movie or whatever it's called. And what's the one about I can't think of it now, but you really see what happened to the housing market and the economy in the stock market. It really, he put these provisions in place that not everybody was putting mortgages under their dog. You know what I mean? But literally, and they're saying that Trump inherited at a good time, and then there was COVID.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
then he messed it up and then blamed
How
the
did he mess
Democrats.
it
But we
up?
don't know because he didn't get reelected. So it's kind of you giving apple to oranges. And you're like, hey, okay, millennials are like, well, what about us? And I think the thing about young people and millennials and Gen Zs, they forget they're talking about my body, my choice, and all of this. But a lot of them, I think, are realists because they don't care about all that. Like the Democrats were trying to play on our emotions about we are who we are. It's about our bodies, about ourselves, it's about this and that. We talk about you can't worry about that if you don't have any money.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
And
Like it's off topic. You were worrying about apples before oranges.
yeah,
And it's funny to me that they're saying, well, via the economy, we don't want to have kids, but this is the only form of birth control y'all have.
exactly.
Guys, we're backwards. We got to figure it out.
We have to figure it out. But these Trump policies, I know that Trump said that he's going to be putting Project 2025, which Lord God forbid it's going to be the end of the world, but he's going to bring 25% increase on tariff, meaning that the cost of goods are going to increase it so that the consumer cuts are going to be low. But everybody knows that when you increase that, it also the consumers get the smaller end. It's going to be in the cost of goods and services. But then he also said he's going to help with the border, he's going to help with inflation, and he's aggressively going to go in a deportation. Now, that's what a lot of things people are going to think everybody's getting deported. And he's saying that he's taking some of that out so he
Wait
can
a
have
minute.
jobs
I don't mean to
for
laugh.
Americans. but
But
they
I
might not be
saw the
black
look
jobs.
you
Yeah.
had. What do you like? What do you mean everybody's getting deported? Wait a minute.
Well,
Wait a minute.
it was a little jokey joke, but they're just saying like deported, like that. He's going to do a lot about deportation.
But what is his stance on deportation?
He's saying that a lot of the cause for our economy is messed up is because of immigration and undocumented citizens that are getting jobs, quote unquote, that could be American jobs. I don't want to say black jobs because
Black job,
but
black job.
but do we really want these jobs? I mean, deportation rights. They're saying that undocumented oh my goodness, guys, forgive me. They're saying that undocumented immigrants,
Immigrants.
thank
Yeah.
you, are causing a lot of disruption in the economy. And he's
Mm.
saying that if he builds the wall and has his border between Mexico, he that's the first thing he's going to do in the presidency. And a lot of people are shaking in their boots about this. They're like, "Oh, what about people? Or what is going to happen? What's going to happen to these people?" And a lot of that is saying that, okay, why is he choosing so hard to go against immigration? And he's saying that that has a big thing on the economy because
Is
it's
there I'm not trying to cut you off. This is literally inquisitive. But is there something like what is he going off of to allege this? Like is there some statistics that say that having immigrants from this particular place is a blight? Like what is he going off of? Like is there supporting documentation?
well
Curiosity.
they know their statistics, and I don't want to say them verbatim because I don't have the facts in front of me, but
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
there is a lot going on with the border for undocumented citizens. We know
Okay.
it's rampant, and it's not just coming from Mexico, it's coming from other areas as well.
Okay.
And it's causing a conflict in the economy because these people are working under the table and they're not documented. And he's saying they're causing a rift in the oh my goodness, and not drugs, but oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank, you guys. You know, in crime, saying these people are rapists and blah blah blah. Which I mean, some cases might be, but we there has to be actual proof behind it. But I know that, especially coming from down south in Florida, there is a lot of undocumented people in the state, just in general. And it does cause a problem because you go to these cities and people, you can't go to any other country, let's say it that way, and not be documented like people coming to America. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I want to come in
Yeah.
America. But I figured if you're going to do it, and I know a lot of people are, they're saying they're refugees and are coming, they're fear for their life. But there's a reason why these provisions are put into place because there are some bad people that are coming in the mix and they're making it hard for the good people. If
Mhm.
you want to do it the right way. Get the help that you
My
need.
problem is you're coming to this country, but the problems are following you.
There's people in other countries that are doing it the right way and they have to
Yeah.
wait because it
And
and the
and
government is very
they
strict
shouldn't
on
have
that.
to wait because somebody else skipped in line.
Yeah, and then the American government is so strict about who they accept and who they don't accept. And I feel like these provisions, okay, it's only fair because what is about the people that are doing the right way? I think there needs to be some limitations, and I think there needs to be some provisions put in place. But sending everybody back, I don't know if that's a little extreme, but that's one of the things he's going to do. Another thing he said he wants to do is move the economy in the right direction. So, like I stated earlier, with the tariff, he wants to increase it by 25%, which is supposed to bring the cost of goods and service down. But the thing about it is the consumer, are they going to, is this really going to work?
Yeah.
Because now they're saying it's going to be a bidding war. And
Oh boy.
a lot of the things about it is the government taxes stuff, especially like say if you have a business and you have a clothing business and you're doing it all from scratch, the government, American government, tax American citizens so much that they have to go overseas and bring the goods back over because it's cheaper to go
To
purchase
make,
something in
yeah.
Bangladesh. But now that we have it, the liberals that are going about the cost of, oh, is this a good working environment for the person? Are you paying that other country 10 cents an hour, and it's,
Yeah.
but I think that when you do so much, you put goods and service overseas, you're cutting jobs for Americans. And we already
Yeah.
have to deal with AI. We already have to deal with technology. Now we have to fight for our jobs for what we have. And that's what he's saying about the immigration part is people are already fighting for jobs, and these service jobs, those could be American jobs instead of just giving them out to other countries. And I think that America needs to fix within first. They need to fix
I
the
agree.
racism issue we already have. So many people, you can't get job as a minority, let alone get a good paying job. You got high education costs, you got high, just cost of living. And then you also have to think about other people coming in this country when there are people already here that's suffering.
But another thing people don't realize is that they're saying, well, minorities work jobs that people won't work. No, it's not that they would work jobs that people, American citizens, don't want to work. They can't work for the same wage. You have people that come over, they get the money and they send the money back home. So that money automatically is going to stretch them a lot longer because of the conversion rate. But an American citizen can't live off of $10 an hour.
Yeah.
So it works out for them, but it doesn't work out for Americans. I guarantee you more Americans would go work out in the orange groves if you were paying them a living wage according to the American dollar amount.
Yes.
I know, my kid's father worked in agriculture. He picked fields. He did all of that because he didn't mind. But they were paying him, pretty well, but nobody can live off of $10 an hour anymore. They're not sending it back to Mexico where the exchange rate is lower. We're living here in the United States where everything is 3 times higher, but I don't think people think like that. I don't think people understand why those particular work those jobs. And on top of that, they get to slide in and work and nobody's checking,
Mm-hmm.
you
And they're
know.
working under the
Yeah, they're
table.
working under the
They're not
table.
paying housing costs, and it's like a lot of them are in one house, and they're not really paying
Right.
real rent. And
They
but
don't
they're
have no
saying, "Well, we're
overhead.
still paying
There's no
taxes."
overhead.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a balance because I know a lot of immigrants, and I know people that come over to this country, and I get it. And they say, "Well, I'm still not a U.S. citizen. I'm paying taxes just like you," and that's not that. It's just saying that for one, the people that are born here in this country and they're suffering, and we need to figure it out within. We have to, how can we help other countries if we haven't helped the ones that are in this country? And that
Right.
should be America's biggest solution right now, because if your country's thriving and you're making money, of course you're going to bring other, you can go out and help, but we need to invest within first.
Yeah, too many of our veterans, too
Yes.
many of our senior citizens are having to live paycheck to paycheck. Too many of our children don't have health insurance because the middle class is being so squished on. We got
Mm-hmm.
huge corporations on the top, and then we got the really low people, middle class being squished, lower class is even lower, and it's hard for anybody to work out. You get a little bit of government assistance, and as soon as you make a few dollars more, you're being snatched. I mean, everything, the rug is being, so you can't win for losing, as my grandma used to say. So it's just there has to be some kind of medium so that the lower class can start coming up some and the medium class can go up and the business are taxed accordingly. There's a lot of unnecessary tax. I was literally talking to my mom the other day and I was like, explain to me why we pay property taxes
Yeah.
when we already own the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like what, why, who, what? I understand that y'all say that these things fund the school and different things, but we have government for that too. So you're
Mm-hmm.
taxing us for all these extra unnecessary things that's supposed to be written into the budget. And you just keep on taking and keep on taking. So we got to pay taxes. We got to pay for our car tags. We have to pay to keep the decal. We have to pay the lights. We have to pay the all these extra things that we shouldn't be paying for.
Yeah. And you said, I love that point about the taxes, and I'm glad that slipped my mind a little bit, because another thing I remember him saying that he was going to cut the tax on overtime, because I know I work so much overtime, and then you have to pay taxes on the overtime. You have to pay taxes on your tips, and you have to pay tax, and that's something that he was going to put in place. But the Harris administration said they were going to do the same, but Trump been saying that before, and a lot of people are like, well, they're saying the same thing. However, this is the thing: we're paying taxes on our income. We're paying taxes on our sales tax. When you go outside and you pay for something, you're paying taxes here. You're paying taxes. You're so right. Paying taxes on top of taxes. They're taking it out of our income, and then when you go and put in retirement, you're paying taxes before taxes, after
The
taxes.
way they tax the lotto, ugh, I would be so
It's
mad.
ridiculous. But I understand it, but they're saying that we're putting in our schools and our stills are still underfunded. The teachers aren't getting paid. There's a lot of schools that don't have books, and they're doing it, they're putting it on the parents, and these are public school systems. And the teachers are underpaid, overworked, and they're not teaching the kids right because they don't have the resources. So where is the money going? But and that's another thing that he was saying, that they're spending tens of billions of dollars in the Ukraine war, and he wants to end that and take some of that money and put back into
Take all
America.
of it and put it back into the United States.
And that's what
We
he's
have no
saying.
business being over there.
And it's just is he really going to say what he's going to say? The people have voted, and this is the things he's put on the list. But I feel like a lot of people, I would say millennials and young age, have been very over emotional about the situation. And a lot of people, especially as minorities, and this is one thing I really want to say, that they say, how can you vote for this person? And you have to start looking at it yourself. You can always be the minority. And we have to, just because when they say minority, why do they have to consider low income and poor? We have customized, you know what I'm saying? We have customized people to automatically, just because you're black, you're minority, and you're low income, and you're poor, and you're uneducated, and we're the bottom of the barrel. You have to start thinking of yourself more than what you are. I'm not saying that Trump has the answers. Don't get it. I'm just here as a realist. I go for the people in the middle. However, it's like, who is the greater good? Because they're all pawns. But you have to think about, the system was not built when the Declaration of Independence and when they made the laws. We were not free people. They did not think about the law. The law is not fit for us. It wasn't built for us when they wrote the law. So how can you be mad about a justice system and about a thing that wasn't considering you when they were making it? So yes, times
Mm-hmm.
need to change. So when you
Yeah.
think about that, you have to think of yourself. Why do I have to think of that I'm the bottom? And
Yeah.
racism is going to be there individually. We know that. I'd rather the racism be uncovered so we can know who is who and who's behind the white cape, and not just in secret, be out front with it, than hiding behind behind getting so emotional that I don't want to get it, hiding behind.
The hood.
Yes, not even that. Behind the democracy, and saying that you're for the people when you're really not. Because a lot of the places that are put inside, they're thinking that, oh, people are on welfare that don't want to work. The government has made it to where that you can't get certain stipulations unless you don't want to do that. They're making it comfortable for people instead of putting these provisions in line. I feel like it's common sense. You put them in line, help them get up, and let them get on their way. And the people that don't abide by it, if that's what they want to do, then that's what they do. But that's not how everybody wants to do. But you put these laws in place, and you're making that they're lazy, but you don't give them a way out of their situation. And then they just get accustomed to that.
And
And
you're acting like the low income people are not tax paying Americans. The only reason that they're not able to come out of their struggle is because you tax the lower people so hard that they can't
mm-hmm,
come out of their struggle. And say,
exactly.
for instance, they are using some of these public utilities. And when I say utilities, I mean like welfare or whatever the case may be. Your stipulations are so hard. You're taxing them on everything that they don't have any way to come up. As soon as they make a little bit more money, you're
Yeah.
snatching the rug out of them. So how can they save anything if you're telling them that they can't have more? Oh, well, if you can save $500, then that means you must make enough. When you know that's not the case. The cost of living is almost to where you need a dual income to survive, especially in the FL where I am.
Yeah.
So if most people are not married, especially at this point, you know that's not happening. So as soon as people are trying to work their best You tax them so hard, they can't save anything, they can't do anything. And then they end up going, well, it's almost cheaper not to work than to work. So I
Yeah.
see how, and I feel like the abusers are a very small amount, because if people really understood what you had to go through just to get a little bit of food stamps,
Mm-hmm.
what you had to go through to get a little bit of cash assistance, and the fact that you actually have to pay cash assistance back. They will take your money from you. Cash assistance is not free. Okay. People like to run their mouth, but they don't understand how the system works, saying you're feeding on the
Exactly.
taxpayers. We have to pay that money back. And I'm not saying me, I'm just saying people have to pay that money back. So if you make it to where people can succeed, then you can drive this lower economy so they can become working, productive citizens. Because right now we're working, but the lower class is not as productive. We're basically just maintaining being below poor at this point.
Exactly. And there's so much to uncover. This is just such a, oh my goodness, this topic has so many layers to it. We don't even know where to begin. And this is just the surface. And if we really think that one man could really change it all, we will be really fooling ourselves. However, I feel that as the Democratic Party, they have done nothing to really advocate for the people in the way that they should have, in the topics that the people want to hear, and the topic that the people really care about. And I know they're saying, well, that's not how the system is made. We don't have time for excuses. We have time for solutions. And I know that I was reading a little bit on Project 2025, and he's very it's called the mandate for leadership, and he's going into how he's going to really change the structure and the branches of executive government. And I think it's really scaring the people, because it's like, okay, how are you going to change democracy? Like, what is he really? Is it going to be drastic as he say it is going to be? And I think it's really scaring politics, because the people that are making these decisions that are
Oh,
in
you mean
office,
politicians?
politicians
Oh, okay.
that are making these decisions, sitting behind these robes, going home to their $1 million homes, and but they're going against the laws that they're benefiting from. And they can tell us how to run our household, but they don't have to abide by the same rules. So I think they're shaking in their boots a little bit, because they're like, okay, they're about to lose some money and lose their jobs, but what's really going to play? And my thing is it going to be for the people? If is he going to stand on business, meaning like, are you for the people? Or are you just trying to make yourself like, are you just trying to make a stance for yourself? Or are you just trying to make history? Like, I hope that the people voted him in office, and he's going to do what he says he's going to do, because
Mm-hmm.
other than that, it's really scary out here. It's really scary out here in
Agreed.
the streets, you know. But there's a lot that I wanted to read more on, and I feel like people really need to do their research, and not just about social issues, and not just get your information from just Fox News, but go and do some research. Go to the government website, look at the structure of government, go look up how these laws are mandated. What do you have to do? And don't just vote right here. You have to vote in your personal election. There's another election coming up. You don't just stop right here. And that's why they get
Which
sidetracked.
which election is next?
Girl, hold on, I have to misquote when they vote for the, oh my goodness, you guys have to excuse me, my brain is not working, but I'll have to tag it on the end, or we can put it in the comments. But there's always an election after this, when you're voting for your judges and your local governments and all that. You don't just stop at that, because when your state, because you have your government, your federal government, you have your state and your local government, you don't just stop when they're putting the big people in office. You go to what's going to affect you in your community. Learn what's going on, what they're voting on, when did they vote? I mean, it's online. I don't know for hand, so you have to forgive me. Don't quote me verbatim, but go see in your community and get tuned in. Listen to local public radio stations. Listen to educate yourself on the matter, because if you're always complaining and you're not voting and you're not doing any activists, you have to look at it yourself, because we're part of the problem. What not one individual or just a handful. It takes there's billions of people. Just think about there's billions of people in America, but only maybe half of that votes. So a half of that is determining decisions for all of us.
Woo, that's rough.
So we have to think about that when we're online and chatting in the comments. But we can go chat in the comments, but we don't go to our local government because it's boring and it's not appeasing. But I don't want to hear you complain if you're not going to do anything about it. So really, they say if this is how it is and this is how the system works, we're going to find out if this really the election system is the way it is once he get done with it, because we're going to see how fake and how real this is at the end. Because if
Yeah.
it is what it is and we voted him in office and he got what he wanted, if not, that's I feel like maybe it was already planned the way, and
Mm-hmm.
we're just a part of the pond and we have no power.
Yep.
But if that's the case, we do have the power. We need to take control of it.
Agreed.
Oh my goodness, you guys. Let's see what 2025 has in store for us. I am a little nervous.
Yep. This is it.
People are sad right now. Do you agree with everybody? They're a little sad for
I think they'll be okay. Let's just see what T Daddy does.
not T Daddy. He better stand on business. We're going to see now. We're going
Yeah.
to see.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to Millennial Intent. Now, please like and subscribe, share it to a friend, and let us know what you think. All right. I'm your host, Jay Cherish.
And Dame Deity.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.